So here we're gonna SSH to AWS EC2 instance, Jenkins installation and setup, and we're gonna also install Docker and Java because our application on the GitHub will be a Java application, so we need JDK to be installed. So SSH to AWS EC2 instance. Let's start with that. So from EC2 instance screen, the 6 steps, we're just gonna bring it back to 4 steps. Very easy. We're going through the options to create an SSH connection for your EC2 instance. So you select your instance. So you tick the box on the left. So on the top right, there will be an action option. Click on it. And after you select the drop-down menu, connect, to see the different ways to connect to your EC2 instance. There will be a tab. You choose the SSH agent tab, so that's how we're going to connect, and you restrict the permissions on your key pair file that we're going to download. We copy the example link, so there will be a link as an example, but that will be actually the right link to connect to your EC2 instance. So you select your instance first, you tick on the left box on the top. So on the top right, on action, you click on connect to see the options in different ways to connect to your EC2 instance. So let's see the screen. Here is the screen. We select here our instance, Jenkins master node. Click on action, the drop-down menu, and then connect. So that's the first step. Sorry. Then the second step, you click on connect to see option in different ways to connect to your EC2 instance. So you choose SSH agent, the tab. So there's different way to connect. Here we're going to choose SSH agent. You see here, there's the key pair. They give you actually all the commands to restrict the key pair and also to connect to it. So you download the key pair, you move the key pair in your working directory, and you restrict permission on your file key pair. So you have to restrict it to 400. chmod 400. I had some issues with that, so I restricted to 660, and it didn't work actually. So use 400, otherwise it won't be. It might not work. So here in the screenshot you see chmod 660, but 400 will work later. After you copy the example link. So the link is SSH, tell you after the different command how to connect to it. So it's going to use your key pair that you had downloaded. It's going to connect to your Ubuntu instance. Alright, here I just hide my details because I'm still using those instances. Here, so you go into the folder where your Jenkins key pair is, and after just to use that command, and you see I'm connected now to the EC2 instance, the master node. And after you run a quick sudo apt update just to update all the packages, and we will be ready to install Java. So Java installation. So you run sudo apt install defo gra. So you're just gonna install the default one. You can also choose the version. Me, I choose the version 11, for example. But here you see when you do Java version, you get all the commands to install the version that you want. So sudo apt install, I just use the version 11, and after you install Jenkins, so you run different commands. So the first command, you get the packages, right? And after you're going to copy those packages to etc apt source Jenkins list, and after you're going to update the packages, sudo apt update, and after you're going to install Jenkins, sudo apt install Jenkins, and at the end you just check the service if the service is running, sudo service Jenkins status, or you just press start. You do. Yeah, so for me it was running, it's active. This is the screenshot of the terminal. So you see we are in the Ubuntu instance on AWS, and after you set up Jenkins. So get your public IP address from EC2 dashboard. You click on your EC2 instance ID. So for me it was 3 point something. EC2 instances, and you see here you have the public IP IPv4 address. So you just get that one. That's the one, and you're gonna add the port. You remember when we set the port 8080 to be able to interact with Jenkins? So that's how you're gonna do. So EC2 instance plus the Jenkins port. It's a connection port that we have allowed from outside. So from the public, it's a public connection. So you should see a Jenkins password page, the setup page of the password. Here we are. You see on the top, put the IP and I put 8080, and I've been directed to the Jenkins configuration page. It gives you a link here. So you just use that one. You get the password from Jenkins initial admin password file. So you make sure that your SSH connected to your instance to show the password. And after you just cat into the password. Cat means that you're gonna show the password. So for me it has shown a password. I just copy it and you paste it into your internet browser. So you set user details to default. Me I just put admin Jenkins email. So after having set that password, you click on install suggested plugins. So it's gonna do all the installation for you. For the minimal plugins that you need, we're gonna use Gradle later on to build our application, Java application in our pipeline. And here after you create your user admin, I just put admin on the admin Jenkins, I think, yeah, and an email address, and you save and continue. So get the instance configuration URL. This is how you connect to Jenkins, but we did it already before. It's your EC2 instance IP, the public IP on your port. That's how it is composed. So we have set the 8080 port because it is the listening port of Jenkins by default. So here is the screen that you're gonna get after. That's the link here, but it's the same as the URL on the top. So you save and the finish. Here we are. So you are inside Jenkins, and now you have all the items on the side: people, build history, manage Jenkins, and other options. We're gonna go and manage Jenkins later on, and we're gonna use new items to build our pipeline. So setting up Gradle in Jenkins to build our Java apps. So inside Jenkins, we're gonna set up Gradle. So we're gonna go to manage Jenkins, global tool configuration, Gradle. Add Gradle, call it default, and choose 7.1 and apply and save. So here, manage Jenkins, global tool configuration, we click on it. And after here, we choose Gradle, add Gradle, we call it default. We click on install automatically and we choose the package 7.1. And we save it. So now on the terminal we need to set Jenkins user as administrator so that it can do everything in Kubernetes. Also we set the password to no to get the pipeline script done automatically without stopping for password request. So we need to sudo v or nano etc sudoers and add at the end of the file Jenkins all equal all no password all. And after we sudo su dash Jenkins is very important to do that because we're gonna do all our installation under the user Jenkins. It's very, very important. So here you see sudo v, I went inside, sudo su, I already put the little line at the end of the sudo file, and after you see we are in the Jenkins user. So don't forget to do all under the Jenkins user, it's very important. So install Docker. So Jenkins on Docker under the user Jenkins. You install Docker and add Jenkins in Docker user group. So It's very important that in Docker user group there's Jenkins installed. Jenkins user, I mean. So sudo apt install Docker, the sudo user mod, and we add the Jenkins user. So you see here Jenkins, we make sure we're under the Jenkins, and we check for the version. If the version is coming out, that means the installation is good. We need to restart the instance to be able to interact with Docker installation, like the new settings. We wait a bit, and after we SSH again to your EC2 instance. So we reconnect to the EC2 instance. So don't forget to do again sudo su dash Jenkins. So don't forget to work with Jenkins user. So from now on, whenever you connect SSH again, you're gonna be into the Ubuntu user, but you need to go into the Jenkins user. So what we did, SSH connection to AWS masternode for local computer, installation Jenkins, setting it up, and we install Docker, and we add Jenkins user to the Docker group. This step is pretty important, and next we're going to install the AWS CLI to interact with it, with the AWS world, and we create access key. We're going to configure the CLI, AWS CLI, and we're going to install kubectl and EKSCTL, and we're going to create our AWS EKS cluster. So the cluster will be ready, and after we're going to use Jenkins to provision that cluster with our application. Thank you. See you.